Welcome to today's deep dive, where we're looking at a stack of notes on Project Maji today.
Right, the solar-powered water initiative out in Sub-Saharan Africa.
Exactly. So for you listening, the origin story here, it starts in Ghana around 2014. A businessman, Sunil Lalvani, sees these children drinking from a muddy puddle. But the kicker is the village actually had a groundwater hand pump.
Yeah, but it had been broken for years.
Broken for years, yeah.
And that broken pump really represents a massive systemic issue. Across Africa, a huge percentage of water points fail within just a few years simply because there's no funding or no mechanism left behind to maintain them.
Because the initial charities just...
They pack up and leave.
Right. So Lalvani launches Project Maji in 2015 to fix that specific gap. And I see in the research they use a CapEx by donors, OpEx by users model. How does that actually play out on the ground?
Well, the initial capital expenditure, the CapEx, runs about $15,000 to build a Maji Cube.
Which is a modular solar kiosk, right?
Yeah. Exactly. It's solar-powered. So philanthropy and corporate donors cover that heavy lift up front. But the operational expenditure, the OpEx, is shifted to the community.
So they pay a fee.
Yeah, a micro fee. It's about 2 cents per 20-liter jerry can.
Which makes total sense economically. I mean, we've seen the tragedy of the commons happen time and again where completely free infrastructure just gets abandoned the second it breaks.
Totally.
Charging a tiny fee creates a real sense of ownership and funds the maintenance. But how are they reliably collecting 2 cents per jerrycan in a remote rural village?
Initially, local caretakers handled the cash. But as you might expect, cash systems are pretty leaky.
Money goes missing.
Money goes missing or water's given away informally to friends. To fix this, Project Maji brought in NFC-based prepaid tokens.
Oh, like the tap-to-pay tech you use at the grocery checkout?
Yeah, the exact same technology. It functions almost like a water ATM.
Wow.
They just tap the token, the water dispenses, and the fee is automatically deducted. The switch to a cashless system instantly doubled their revenue.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. It secured a locked box fund solely for long-term repairs.
And looking at the scale, by early 2026, they've reached over 400,000 people across Ghana, Kenya, and Uganda. The notes include a quote from a woman in Ghana named Patience who said, "God bless Project Maji for this change in our lives."
Because she no longer has to trek long distances just to get dirty water.
Exactly. Beyond just getting clean drinking water, what are the wider ripple effects of a system like this?
In Sub-Saharan Africa, women and girls carry about 70% of the water collection burden. When you put a reliable water source right in the village, you're handing back hours of time every single day.
Which is life-changing.
Absolutely. For girls, that reclaimed time goes directly into staying in school. And for women, it translates into starting micro-enterprises and boosting household income.
But if the impact is that immediate and obvious, why do they struggle with adoption early on? The data shows only 30 to 40% of villagers were actually using the kiosks at first.
Old habits are hard to break. Many people still preferred gathering the dirty river water they were used to over paying 2 cents.
Even though the river water is dangerous.
Right. Project Maji realized they needed an incentive shift. They changed the local kiosk caretakers' compensation from a flat salary to a 20% commission on water sales.
Ah, turning them into local entrepreneurs.
And motivated health advocates. The caretakers started actively educating their neighbors about the medical dangers of untreated water.
Which drove up adoption.
It drove up adoption and doubled revenues yet again.
Now, as they expand to serve larger communities, a single kiosk per village obviously isn't enough. The research mentions a hub-and-spoke model. Can you walk us through how that works?
Instead of one isolated cube, they build a central solar pump that feeds multiple remote taps scattered throughout a much larger population area.
So it's a mini network.
Yes. And to keep a larger network like that running smoothly, they also implemented a results-based funding agreement.
Meaning donors only pay out when the data proves the water's actually flowing.
Precisely. Instead of donors writing a blank check up front and just hoping for the best, the funding is tied directly to performance metrics. Project Maji uses the data from those tap-to-pay water ATMs to guarantee a 96% kiosk uptime.
Because if a pump breaks, the system flags it instantly.
Yes, and they have the dedicated funds ready to dispatch a repair team immediately.
It really bridges the gap between nonprofit compassion and rigorous business discipline.
It does. Think about the broader implications of that model for a moment.
Yeah.
If a tiny 2-cent user fee can sustainably maintain a life-saving rural water network, What other failing global charitable initiatives could be completely transformed by shifting from a traditional free handout model to a micropayment empowerment model?
That is a provocative question and definitely something for you to mull over next time you look at global infrastructure projects. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you for listening to Mission Possible, innovating for the world's most marginalized. This podcast is built on the outstanding work of our students, whose curiosity and commitment drive much of the research and storytelling you hear. Each episode is grounded in academic research and shaped through close collaboration with our partners. To learn more about the research and partnerships behind this podcast, feel free to contact us. Thank you for joining.